Hello.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the CyberRodeo launch talk. So, thank you for taking the time to be in this event with us. We are beyond excited to have you guys here. Um, I would like to start talking about what is the Cyber Rodeo. The Cyber Rodeo is a building event that has a Texan twist. For that reason, we have the rodeo. We need to honor this region in which we are right now, this beautiful town with perfect weather, right? So, and it's open to all cybersecurity enthusiasts of all skill levels. If you are watching this online because you are transmitting right now via LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and Kik and Twitch and all that, go and register. We are going to have one more session today afternoon, and we are going to have another one tomorrow, starting at 8:30 a.m. We have, most importantly, we are going to develop real skills that the employers value. We also have prizes and learning scholarships courtesy of our partner, Easy Council. Um, let's talk about a little bit about the Innovation Outpost. The Innovation Outpost is an institution that is an arm of Amarillo College here in Texas. Amarillo College is a number one top college in America. This past year, we won the Aspen Prize. We're very, very proud of that. And the Innovation Outpost is trying to cover the workforce development and trying to bridge the gap between the digital skills and the human skills in the region. Um, we think with this multidimensional approach that we can equip our members and students to make a real impact in the marketplace since day one. That's part of our goal. We are transmitting right now from Innovation Outpost in Amarillo, Texas. We need to talk a little bit about our partner in this venture. So in order to bridge that gap and bring all that development to the region, we need to partner with the right partners and with the right people. In this case, we are partnering with Easy Council for this event. They have more than 20 years um, training people in cybersecurity. They are the creators of the ethical hacker certification, which is the gold standard in in certifications. I want to give special thanks to Jenny and Maurice. They flew here from Florida yesterday, and also to Wesley Alvarez. Um, Today, we are going to have two magnificent speakers. We are going to start with Cassandra Pristas. It took me a while because to get this summary of her experience. He's done so much. He's so awesome. But this is just few things of what is in your resume. Let me read something around here. She's a leading cybersecurity instructor at Easy Council, and she specializes in cyber threat detection, risk management, and network security. Um, she is a lieutenant commander in the U.S. Navy Reserve Information Warfare Community, and she also integrates the strategic military insights. Um, Huge expertise in cybersecurity, multiple master degrees, and awesome. I talked with her a few minutes back, and she has she's very fun. She's very entertaining. You're going to have a blast with her. Also, we have Dr. Diego Tibaquirá, a multifaceted expert in computer science. Um, he's a professor in Miami-Dade College, also at Innovation Outpost. He's been helping us to develop the cybersecurity roadmap that we need for the region. Hyperachiever, I'm proud to call him my friend. He was my professor, and now we work together. That's a great experience. He also works very close with the VA because he's a former Marine. He has gathered north of $1.7 million in grants to help the VA. And he's also highly involved in council of the PTK Honor Society. Um, and without further ado, and without getting too much into the weeds, these are the topics that we're going to talk about today. The role of cybersecurity, capture the flag events, and how can you get real skills out of them, and the impact on the workforce, okay, from those skills. And as per my conversation with Cassandra Pristas, she has been working with the workforce and the business community to understand exactly what are the skills that they are looking for. She's going to be talking about that too. So without any further ado, let's introduce Cassandra Pristas. Can you hear us, Cassandra?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you say hi?
Hi, everyone.
Oh,
Can you
we
hear
cannot
me?
hear you. Can you hear you? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, but we cannot hear you, and that thing was working. I
It was just working a
swear.
second.
Okay.
Test, test.
See. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. We
Can you
can.
hear me
Thank
now?
you. Woo, you were killing me.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone.
Okay, let's kick off this, Cassandra, with few questions that we've been working on, and let's do something. Let's do something. What is your take on how cybersecurity capture the flag events can help to obtain real skills
Well,
that the
first
employers
off,
are looking for?
absolutely. Well, first off, again, it's an honor to be here. It's a privilege. And I'm just really excited that I have this opportunity to speak to each and every one of you. In regards to a lot of these capture the flag events, what I have noticed over the years, what it does, it provides a lot of benefits. For one, you're able to build relationships with other networking professionals, with your peers. These capture the flags also provides you as a way for networking with those professionals that are currently out there. And a lot of employers, believe it or not, because I know when I have gone through a lot of technical interviews over the years, and as I was starting to evolve in my career in cybersecurity, the biggest thing is that they want to see individuals with hands-on and practical skills. So with these capture the flag events and the gaming that you are all here doing, a lot of that is testing your abilities, testing your skills to see how you do. And what a lot of times is what we see in the workforce is that employers want to hire, graduates, they want to hire individuals that get their certifications, but the bulk of it is, do they have the skills to be able to do the job? And so what these capture the flag events do is gives you that opportunity to test, to see what you know, because a lot of this, when you're out in the industry, and let's say, for example, you're working for a specific agency, me being in the military, when I go to different sites and I'm conducting different assessments, conducting, ethical hacking. A lot of times they want to see what you're capable of doing. And so a lot of these that we provide at EC Council with these capture the flag events is your opportunity to kind of zone in on the skills that where you're the strongest, and then also make note of the areas where you seem to not be very strong in, and make note of that. And so after these events, use that as a mechanism to say, you know what, this is an area where I think I need to focus my training and develop my certification skills in that area. So for the most part, like I said, use these opportunities, these CTF experiences to be able to test and to be able to And don't get discouraged during the process, because I've been to a number of Capture the Flag events. I also teach at a local university. And some of those events, some students, they have a great time, they have fun. And that's the objective, is that you want to have fun, but at the same time, use this as a training tool to assess whatever it is that you may be limited in.
As we work with industry to try to gather from them what is it that they want to see in the next um, group of cyber leaders or IT um, leaders that are going to come to them. The one thing that they have mentioned is if they see something in your resume that says capture the flag, National Cyber League, um, Cyber Patriot, or any of those type of gamification competitions, they're putting a lot of weight on it. So why is that? All right, so you went through a program, maybe you got a degree, AS, certificate, a BS. So that's one. You got a lot of theory and everything else. What do you do as hands-on? All right, so you have a couple of industry certifications that puts you a little ahead because it tells them that in addition to doing your coursework, you also work on expanding your knowledge and to obtaining those industry certifications that are a little tougher. So that's second level. So why do they look at Capture the Flag, National Cyber League, and everything else? Is because they know that if you did it in whatever you placed in, that gave you real life experience. So that like the one you're going through today here in the Outpost, and you join online for the afternoon and tomorrow, you notice that now some of the things that you're going to be learning in class or that you have learned in class, Nmap. Oh, okay, so this is what Nmap is. Oh, okay, so I got to put Linux. What is Linux? What is the command line interface? At that point, you actually get to do some hands-on relevant activities. And the more you do this, the more they're going to see you as okay, there's some hands-on experience that went together with everything else that you did in educating yourself. So they put in a lot of value when they see Capture the Flag, National Cyber League, Cyber Patriot, or any other um, gaming competitions, because they also know on the back end what these competitions are set out to. So what these competitions are is nothing more than we telling you come play a game, and we can get you here on a Friday for the whole day to play a game. If we tell you come learn cybersecurity, you're like, no, Friday is a long day. So in that sense, that's it. It's just gamifying the content, giving you a fun way to go in there and try to learn it. Different skill levels. The first time that you do it is going to be tough. The second time it gets better. The third time around, the fourth time. But now you might be more inclined to go home and build your own virtual machine, which is not that complicated once you get this. Download something like VMware, build your own ISO from a server, and it could be a Linux, it could be a Windows machine. And then put a workstation, which should be a Windows 11, Windows 10, and then start playing, because it's going to be kind of the same things that you're doing in here. But the more you do that, the more marketable you become. But industry is looking down on these events. That's why they're growing. Somebody just told me that they have participated on a Capture the Flag just a couple of weeks ago. They're becoming more and more prominent because it does give you, forces you to actually see that command line interface and do that investigation, that recon that you need to do in order to be a much better cybersecurity expert.
I know how you feel about Mac. Can that virtual machine be a Mac?
No, no, we want you to get real. No, but whatever you have, but you can create these environments. You cannot go to an interview and say, hey, no, I never touched it. I just learned, I have the theory, because that is not going to work. They want to see that you actually, so this type of events, they put in a lot of weight on it because they know that you actually put your hands on that keyboard and made something happen.
Jenny, Dr. Jenny from Easy Council. Um, any thoughts on that?
I think being someone who's interacting with many faculty members of colleges and universities and high schools, I have learned that Capture the Flag competition will initiate and trigger something in the students feeling like many students actually are afraid to give it a try. And with the CTF kind of events, they can start with the beginner level and then feel like, hey, actually, I can do it. I think that's really giving the students more confidence. And again, just continue to what Diego said, it's really adding value because I have many faculty saying that, you know, my student get it very fast because he is in a cyber club, because he has that CTF in the resume and he's winning it. Like, you can imagine the kind of value. So like today's event, when you have this here, I do encourage that you do your best. We do have a lot of prizes out here. I think it's really not what you get, it's really something that you can show off also later on when you are in your resume and also in your LinkedIn profile and so many more. So I guess that's it. I'm so excited about the CTF events.
And I'll give you a last one. So this is a safe space in the sense of if you break it, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. There's no grade at the end. So if you did really poorly, the experience of this, and then the next one, hopefully you get enticed to, okay, so now, I really want to get more in depth. The next time, I want to go for the mid level, the high level, and everything else. But that's another thing. The gaming competition offers you that space where you can come in and break stuff. Don't worry, break it. We have the back end and we'll fix it. But it gives you that opportunity to actually go in there and type the commands and practice in that sense.
Yeah. So I would like to talk a little bit about there is two aisles. Seems to be with in IT like two camps. Either you are from the certification camp, in which you need to go all certifications and credentials and no academics, and there is another camp that you need to go all academics and certifications are meh. My personal opinion, and I want to hear from you guys, is and first from you. Can I call you Carissa? Cassandra, sorry, can I call you Cassandra?
Cassandra's good. Yes.
So I would like to hear your opinion. Mine is that why not both? Why should be like one or the other? When the time is right, you guys are more than capable to get both. So, but I would like to hear from you, Cassandra. What is your opinion on that topic?
In regards to degree and certification?
Yes, that polemic and fighting comes there is with that. There is people in seems to be one people in one aisle and one people in another aisle. What is your take on that?
So being in the industry over 20 years and starting out, the biggest thing is a lot of companies, and this is also tying in with when you're starting your job search, see what is the most common desired one, certification, and two, the degree. Because typically in the market today, in the job market today, because it is very competitive, and I always stress to my college students as well when I do the advising, it's great to have a degree. And that degree shows to employers, one, that you're committed to something and that you do have some fundamental knowledge about the field. However, you'll have those industries where, okay, they want that degree, but they want the certifications as well. So with those certifications, that's going to give you that additional, the gap that you really didn't get deep into the weeds in regards to getting your actual degree. But that certification is actually now setting you up for success, because when you have those certifications after you've completed a degree, now a lot of times that's going to indicate, one, you have initiation, you have drive, there's that ambition element to you. And because those certifications are focused on whatever field that you decide to get your certification in, that's also going to set you apart. I remember when I first got out of the Air Force over 20 years ago, I was active duty. I got my degree while I was in. I got some certifications. I had wonderful supervisors and mentors at that time. So when it was time to get out, I remember going for an interview, and it was for a pretty large financial company up in the Midwest. And so when I put my credentials, I put my experience in there, and then eventually went through the interview process. And when they made the offer, and I said, he said, we had 32 applicants and we picked you. And he said, one, your military, background, experience, the degree, and the certifications that you obtain is what set you apart. So for those that are kind of on the fence, you'll hear both. Like maybe I prefer certifications or maybe I'll prefer a degree. I'm a big advocate with 5 master's degrees under my belt. I'm a big advocate in learning. I'm not saying going out and get 5 master's degrees, but I'm saying get that education so you get that foundation that's going to set you up, that's going to make you that much more competitive when you go for those interviews. And say you're going for a position and there's 30 applicants, okay? Having that degree and having that certification is definitely going to set you apart and prepare you as you go into the industry. And that degree is also going to set you apart. So when you want to advance in with the company, you have that degree, because most management leadership positions want someone with a degree. So that's also going to give you that leading edge.
Dr. Diego?
So it depends, but I will concur that having both um, will set you apart is necessary, and it will advance your career. Also, a lot of companies, once you get there, they said, hey, you need to get Security Plus, and they will actually pay for it and send you to be able to get certified. But the more you do for yourself, the better prepared you're going to be, and the more marketable you're going to become. Hearing those words of, we chose you because you had this extra, level, is always nice, and then it's something that industry comes back. Why do we place such a large weight on the certifications? Is because industry. So everything that we do is driven by industry. We're not here teaching just for the curriculum that we have, but the industry is saying yes, certifications are still very valuable. Seeing that in the resume not only indicates that you did, that particular certification, whatever it is, but you took the extra time, you study, um, doing certifications, the preparation for it, the taking notes, the going over questions, the, reviewing the material. And at the end of the day, when you sit up for an interview, going through a certification process helps you get the material in such a way that you'll be able to sit across from somebody and be able to talk about that particular subject matter in a much better way. So that's why certifications are so crucial into what we do. And you're able to put the degree and an associate's degree with certifications, a bachelor's. And then something that we do here is, let's say that you already have a bachelor's, but it's not in IT. Then you come in and get some certifications, and that can complement one of the two. And depending on what you want to do, you have IT, and then you do business, you do IT. Those tend to go together. But nowadays, IT and technology is for everybody. And since the pandemic, I think we have an understanding that the technology is not just for the IT people, but and I'll talk a little more about cybersecurity for all as well in a little bit. But in that sense, yes, certifications are crucial. Formal education is great, and I do say the same thing. You want to get started with certifications, get a job. Always going back and getting your education might be necessary in the outlook of what you want for your career. Because 10 years from now or 5 years from now, when you want to get promoted, yes, you don't have that certification. That might be one of the qualifications for that next level. So you want to keep that in mind. But I don't want to say wait and wait and wait to get a job until you get everything together, because it's not. I got my first big job with an AS and some certifications, and from there, I was doing my bachelor's and master's and doctor, and I've been working, through all those. But it does give you that next level, and then you're able to make decisions into what you want to do with your career. So, but certifications are very foundational and a great tool to have. Um, and going through them, you haven't already, but you have gone through a certification, process, that it takes, time and determination and everything else.
Yeah. I know you guys, Dr. Jenny, you take a lot of time and thought creating the content and aligning that content to the industry, what is current. I know because I suffer for that. You guys change your program fairly often, version 2, version 3, version 4, right? Always taking the pulse of everything that is happening in the. Okay, what is your opinion on this topic?
All right. So, to me, I just want to share also that I came from 20 years experience of teaching. I was a faculty member in university. So I'm a big supporter of a degree for sure. At the same time, I would like to uh, take you to another mindset. Think about it. Like, not everyone have the chance or can afford the formal education and completing the degree incompletely. And certification is actually one of the solutions you can take, because you can compare the cost of certification as compared to the formal education. I believe like this is opening a big door to everyone who really want to be in this field and just cannot afford completing a formal education. That's one thing. And then second thing is I have seen, you can see how is the demand of the cybersecurity workforce market right now. Like, there is a big shortage, 3 million cybersecurity workers needed, and it's hard for the company to look for the right one. You can think about switching career quickly with the certification. If you have to complete the degree, at least you have to take 2 years, right, with the associate degree. But with certification, you can take a boot camp, you can take a training for 16 weeks or something like that, and then you can upskill yourself. Because among the many things, and you have to be upfront, as what AJ said, that that's why Easy Council try our best to keep our materials up to date, because we want you to be ahead of the hackers out there, ahead of those, very smart people who can break our system. So we want to be there. We want to help you, but you also have to do the hard work of practicing, sharpening your skill, keep doing it. And yeah, again, CTF is one of them. We have so many practices in there, and as you can see that today you have some experiences with it, we have even harder challenge than what you have just now. And it's there. You are the one who have the lead to do it, because only you can control how much skill you master. So in my head, like, it's really like a shortcut sort of for you to be ahead of everyone without you know getting there. If you cannot, like, you cannot really go through either the time or the cost. But I am a big supporter of for degree. I've been there, and I know the value also. And I think that's my take.
That's great. So, and that's a perfect segue because you mentioned workforce, and Cassandra cannot see these, and people online cannot see these, but we have a big group here of members of IO, friends, people from the community, and they are trying to explore, they're exploring cybersecurity, this field. They have the intention to change career, to upskill, to reskill, to get into the cybersecurity field. So with that said, Cassandra, what is your, what can we say to them? So what are the employers looking? Where do we start from? So I know this is a good place to start with the capture the flag, but what are the employers, the workforce looking for? What is a good advice for these people trying to explore cybersecurity to start?
That's a really great question. I spoke with a couple of customers yesterday on the phone, and completely brand new. They want to get into the cyber field, and they were wondering, like, what is the starting point that I can do to get into this field? I'm very interested. And the first thing that I told them, key question is, what is your level of knowledge? And so what EC Console does is they laid out different types of career pathways. They have it's an essential pathway where it incorporates the very fundamental courses. It encompasses teaching individuals about, computer software. Then it introduces them into like the basics of hacking, and also network fundamentals. So once you get those fundamental courses completed, then you can venture off into getting in, pursuing to the CEH certification. A lot of times they have different learning formats. So depending on the time that you have and what most industries are looking for is one is those technical skills. Can I see students graduate from programs? I see students get their certifications, but I want to see more students. I want to see applicants with the actual hands-on experiences. And so once they've obtained those essential courses, those fundamental courses that EC Console does have, that foundational knowledge, using that and then going to these capture the flag events is going to allow them to take what they've learned from those fundamental courses and then apply it into the capture the flag. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, use these times, yes, you can break the machines, don't worry about it, it's going to be fine, but use that as a way of testing what you have learned from these basic certification courses, and then evaluate how much you are actually doing in these CTFs. Do that assessment to see where some of those deficiencies you might be at, and then reach out to an EC Console advisor, and then we can guide you and mentor you to see where exactly you want to go next as far as certification to build on those skills. So essentially what those employers are looking for are those individuals with those hands-on skills, those abilities. But again, you're getting that and applying those fundamentals to the CTFs.
Dr. Diego?
So I'm going to step a little bit to the side on this in the sense of we talk about the technical experience and everything else, but the one other thing that you will have to work on, and something that we do here at the Outpost is we got to make sure that we bring in some of those life skills, social skills, and everything else, teamwork, because that's also what they're looking for. Sometimes a technical interview or getting a job will be multiple interviews. In one of those, they want to see how you interact with a team. They might actually put you with a team to solve a problem or things of that nature. So that's why we do emphasize on that as we also talk about the very technical skills that we gained. Industry does want a person that is able to collaborate, integrate, bring new ideas, and kind of do implementation. But in the real world, you're going to be working with teams, regardless of where it is that you end up working. So, in addition to those hard technical skills that you're going to bring in, they also want to make sure that they bring a team player that will be able to enact on the mission and vision of the corporation.
That's a great point. And that's the reason why here at the Innovation Outpost, we divide the time, the learning time between the digital skills and the human skills. Because what we hear over and over and over again from the employers, from Silicon Valley to the Texas Panhandle region, bring those people with good attitude that can learn, that they are not in a pain to work with. We will train them. The right people we will train, we will invest on them. Okay, so is think on that. That's my grain of salt. So Dr. Jen.
Okay, so I have my own view here. Uh, I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, so I've been working in the education environment as well as the industry, and I have led very few people, up to 1,000 people that I led within the university. So I think understanding that, and actually my IT team, I was leading an IT team about 35 people with developer networking and all. I'm not an IT person, just want to make sure about that. I'm leading my IT team. So what stand out is I can identify different type of people, those who just do enough, those who just who will do more, those who do their best. Is time, and then that's gonna put you in the map. Are you up for promotion? Are you up for something bigger for yourself? I think I think it's not only me, it's everywhere. when we are in a leadership position, we should be able to see those. And then I will ask you back which one of those that you want to be. And with that, as well as technical or human skill, and we talk about transferable and perishable skill also, it's always coming back to you. I would say that you are the person in control of your life. And we, as the vendor of the course, we give those knowledge to you. You are the one in control if you want to learn it, or you want to go beyond it, or you want to just, that's it, that's enough. I will just do enough, and that's it. And you're going to see you're stuck in there, not moving anywhere. I think it's always coming back to that. For us, we are providing what we can for you, trying to speed up your ability to learn. I think Innovation Outpost also facilitate this with the track. So they provide with the interaction that help you to have those teamwork skills, as well as, you know, because it's very important. I cannot, you know, place a heavier emphasize on that, because that's what make you stand out or just stay there forever in a position and not moving. I think that's my point of view, and hopefully that will help you to think about yourself and what you want to do next.
Yeah. So let's switch back, or let's move on. This is what we are doing right now. This is a good place to start. But we at Amarillo College and Innovation Outpost, part of the formula for success is that we strive to be at least 3 years ahead of the current need. Okay. And that probably is not even enough time with everything that is happening with AI and how fast things are working. But that's have worked very well for Amarillo College, and all the success and in retention and in completion that we have, right? So thinking on that, Cassandra, how do you see the future and the impact of the new current technologies in cybersecurity for the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
Well, we're seeing AI kind of take on a course of its own, right? And so a lot of people ask me about AI, and there are a lot of benefits that it will come with, using AI. However, a lot of people get so excited about all these new technologies that they kind of seem to get complacent and not think about the possible negatives with the current and the future technologies. And so that's where each of you would come into play with getting those skill sets that the industry needs, because they know AI, it does have an advantage, but there's going to be a lot of problems that it's going to present as well. And so with some of those challenges, now people can, even those that are inexperienced, can use AI to create different forms of malware or develop different strategies for creating different types of attacks. Everything now is so accessible that it doesn't take a lot of experience to create certain types of tactics, cyber threats. And so with individuals like you, when you come to these Capture the Flags, you guys are getting your education, your certifications. It's helping to prepare you. We also did a survey, and it's going to be published here shortly. It's our cyber threat report. And the concern with AI, phishing, a lot of the manipulations that are going to be become more prevalent in regards to propaganda with social media, creating fake artificial videos that AI is now stepping into in the industry. There's a lot of malware, phishing, emails that are getting a little more creative. They're going to become more prevalent, and those network attacks they're going to increase tremendously with the use of AI and how it's increasing. So that's why we always stress, and that's why at EC Console they stress that we want to get people that are trained get the skills that they need to be able to become familiar and identify those potential threats that are moving forward. Because when you are one step ahead of the game, or three steps ahead of the game, then you're that much more effective in deterring those threats that can possibly come into your organization's network. So that's the building block that you want to do, and set your mindset that the training that I'm getting, it's critical. As many of you know, and probably seen out on the media, right? There's a lot of influence that a lot of organizations, even hackers, can go ahead and try to promote out there that influences individuals in certain different ways. And so a lot of people are concerned with AI and how it's kind of consuming and taking over a lot of the common attacks that are taking place today. So again, being mindful of that, being prepared, educating yourself, getting comfortable with all the tools that hackers are using today to help counteract those AI attacks, because they're not going to go away. It's just going to continue to get worse.
Dr. Tibaquirá.
Yes, so I'm gonna give you a couple, and I want to piggyback on the AI for a second. And the reason for that is when AI or ChatGPT, AI has been with us for a long time, and then you have used, and then AI has been part of your lives for a lot. It's just ChatGPT kind of turn it into this, horrible thing, but it's not. It's just another resource. And my take is you do not shut it down. It's just like every other technology. We need to learn how to harness, that to our advantage, whatever you can bring for us. So that's number one. Number two, I do want to piggyback on the other piece, which is, what do you think the attackers are doing right now? They're doing exactly the same thing that you're doing. They just choose to do that for the wrong reasons. So that's why the certified ethical hacker, it has the ethical piece in there. We're learning how to hack for good, for to protect, to defend, and there is no better offense than a good defense, and we learn how to do that. But the people that do the bad things are doing exactly the same thing that you guys are doing, in their preparation into how to be better at their job. Now the problem is their job is a lot easier because they got to be right one time. If they're right one time, then an attacker was successful. Even if they try a million times, just one time. In the defense side, in our side, we gotta be right 100% of the time, because that one time could be detrimental to whatever organization you're working for. And so all the things that we've been talking about today, like getting the skills and everything else, leads into that. But the other part that I want to talk about is we got to move on to something that we're working on called cybersecurity for all. And what does that mean? We're only as strong as the weakest link. If I'm doing a recon on your company, I'm not recon on the IT people. I'm not going through the cyber. I'm going through your customer service. I'm going through the secretaries and everybody else in your company that can provide me a username and password that then I have access. And then once I have access, then I will traverse your network and then get to somewhere where I want to be. Securing all the endpoints, the TVs, the smart TVs, anything that has an IP address in your network has to be secure. We put up a smart TV, and then we're able to use it, and all that stuff and we don't secure in the same way, and we don't train everybody in the same way. So when we talk about multi-factor authentication, everybody gets scared. You all using it because when you go to your bank account, they send you a pin, and then you gotta put so that. But we gotta get it to everybody. You gotta get it in your homes, to every single person that lives in your house. Strong passwords. What does that mean? How do you implement those? How do you keep those secure in the best way? And if you do a strong password with multi-factor authentication, you're going to be much better protected. So in that sense, cybersecurity for all, I think, is gotta be the thing that we talk about for the next 5 years. In the previous 5 years, we took cybersecurity from the basement, which is where the cybersecurity professional was and nobody knew about. Now cybersecurity is in the forefront, and we know that everybody needs to be more secure in that way, as far as when you do digital transactions and everything else. So in that sense, I think that's the next 5 years. Cybersecurity is going to become a more focal point into everything that we do. Cybersecurity or security is now embedded into software engineering, development, testing, and everything else. We want to put cybersecurity into programs from the beginning. We tend to do that at the end. We build a program, and then at the end, we think about, is it secure enough? We're not doing that anymore. Now we're going, DevSecOps from the development stage, from the design stage. How is this piece of software going to be secure, so that it does what it's supposed to do in a much more secure manner? So we're not just being reactive, but I think the next 5 years is how do we become more proactive in the cybersecurity arena, in making sure that everybody's trained properly. Again, in your jobs, that's going to be part of what you're going to do. You're going to train the people that works in there that does not do the IT stuff. But how do we get that to become a much more secure environment overall?
Yeah, that's so true that in our matrix that we have for the human skills, we have cybersecurity awareness as a survival skill that everybody needs, because we are all using that TV, we're using our phones, we're using the internet, we're buying online. Not you, Delilah, but the rest of the people is buying online, and we need to be super aware because this is going to get more dangerous territory in the next years. Jenny.
Okay, my comment. I was like not sure what to say. I think we always have to think about that your role here being the person who will any company rely on means you have to be ahead of the attacker. If you think about the stages in this industry, you can be like in the pre-attack, like trying your best to avoid all the risk. Like you can be like the person who's like trying to take care of the damages in the attack time kind of, and then you can also be like someone who's like post attack, the main damage has been done, you have to fix it or you have to assess it, and then you have to find out who's doing it. So I think there are so many opportunities for you, but again, if you I think what's great about what Innovation Outposts provide is you gotta start from yourself. You start from protecting yourself first, because I think we are most careless about ourselves. I cannot say more about that because I think about myself too. And then afterward, then you can protect others. I mean, how can you protect others if you don't protect yourself? I think that's also important to remember. And that means you have to be trying to do your best to, when you don't have like hopefully no attack, then you're going to be proactive finding the holes, you're going to be proactive in protecting what you're taking care of in cybersecurity, and then avoid as much damage as possible. I think I also want to say something about, there's like one professional I met a few weeks ago, and he's actually working as a cybersecurity insurance assessor. It's a very interesting job, in my opinion. And then he get paid so high. I want to tell you that. It's a new field. I said, what field is this? Yeah, it's a new field. Not so many like me. I said, oh my God. And what he does is making all those computation of the kind of damage can happen in a company. And then that's the basis of charging that company the amount of insurance fee that the company must pay. I think it's very interesting. In my opinion, it's there because I mean, company really get a big loss, many millions if they don't do their job, and then they try to deviate that with insurance. But hey, the insurance people also now smarter and, and can do it, as best. So again, always you. I always like think about you. How can you do better? How can you be ahead of these attackers and do your best and perform? Thank you.
Yeah, all these technologies are bringing a lot of problems and troubles and things, but also solutions. And it's going to be up to us. And I'm one of the reasons I do what I do and I love what I do is because probably the solution to the new problems is, or the one that is going to create a solution is sitting here right there, okay, in front of me. So that's what keeps me up at night and makes me wake up fresh to come here and do what I do is knowing that you guys are going to have a positive impact in the future. I really believe that. I really believe that. So, being mindful of the time, so I would like to see if any of you guys have some sort of question for our panel. So, and I'm going to throw this mic to you guys. Don't get scared. Okay? Anyone? Question? This is the moment. We need to ask questions. Barek?
Mic check. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You brought up cybersecurity insurance. You know, I was reading the other day. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but the insurance industry has taken huge losses so far in the cybersecurity industry. They don't know yet how to fully evaluate the risk in terms of financial damages, and that they're writing these policies that, you know, $1 million policy barely scratches the surface. Just look at MGM right now and Caesars in Vegas. So, and I guess in that discussion, and you look at the rules the SEC is placing on large corporations in terms of when they have to disclose data breaches. What are some next steps from a policy and legislation that you would like to see in the industry, so that from a business point of view, cybersecurity will be moved from the basement to the executive table?
Cassandra?
Very good question. From recent experiences that I have seen and heard from my colleagues, you know, there are policies in place. Every single company organization that I've worked for and where I've been, have policies. But from observation, from experience, it's the failure from leadership that reinforces those policies, down to from the top and all the way down. And so a lot of times those policies have great purpose, but if they don't follow them, then how effective are they? So to me, I think that's probably one of the biggest corporates right now, that in regards to, you know, high risk and liability, is that, you know, yeah, they have security professionals on staff create these wonderful policies, but again, sometimes leadership feels like maybe it doesn't apply to me, or there's just no training or reinforcement that mandates every single person within that organization to adhere to those policies. So to me, that's probably one of the biggest you know, issues that you'll probably see. And if they fix it, then that probably, you know, strengthen up the security within companies.
So, Tibaquirá? Any
So
other question?
on that one, the perspective is, and it goes through the cyber attacks, and ransomware has become more, you know, in the news. Everybody knows kind of what it is and what it does. Um, Unfortunately, it's very reactive. Until a company takes a big loss, they don't realize that is necessary. Now, insurance companies are coming in and saying, well, you know, we will not protect you unless you have these mechanisms in place that are going to be enacted and followed through to make sure that you are less vulnerable to an attack. Now, when we go into risk mitigation and everything else, you know that there is no such thing as zero risk. That's when the insurance comes in and everything else. But companies are not doing their due diligence in the sense of how they protect themselves, because they might think, well, my business is not cybersecurity. So, and again, it goes into the cybersecurity for all. It doesn't matter what it is. In ransomware, it was kind of like during wartime that, you know, hospitals don't get attacked, and schools and things of that nature. But now you see more ransomware attacks happening at hospitals and everything else. At this point, we're not only dealing with, you know, monetary issues, but we also seeing, you know, that we can risk the loss of life. So in that sense, we gotta become better at, you know, how we implement, how we write these policies, how we implement these policies, and making sure that we're following through. Just as if, you know, the first week at your new job, you spend the whole week filling out and signing in policies in all the things that you're allowed and not allowed to do at that particular place. In the same way, we have to create, the proper way to say, okay, you're in compliance or not. And we do have a lot of, different compliance, depending on what you're doing. You in the medical industry, there's, some things that you got to do in there. You're in the financial industry. So in that sense, it just has to be across the board, in order for that to be. But insurance companies, I think, are going to push back on that and say, we will not, protect you unless, it's kind of like when you get insurance on your house, unless your house is meeting certain, standards, they will not provide you with that insurance. I think is going to come to that, to make it, a much better environment for everybody.
So we are over the hour, but I would like to see if we have any more questions. So let's. That's a very good sign and a very bad sign when we don't have questions. Either we know too much or we don't know anything. So, is there any question around that we can? This is not all the time. This is the moment to make questions. Don't knock him down. Oh.
So I got a question. It pertains, but it's kind of like off the subject in the same sense. So like with the my bad. So with the new quantum computers and stuff like that, will we ever have to be competing against stuff like that in the future?
That's a great question. Cassandra, quantum computing as
Oh,
a future risk?
I believe so. And again, that's why, it's so important, because when you are in this line of work, it's not a learn and stop learn. Okay. Because the technologies, the practices, the methodologies that attackers use are constantly evolving. And so if you don't continue to maintain your skill sets and your knowledge of what's happening, attending conferences, when things pop up, signing up for like Hacker News, emails of what's happening out there, reading different types of articles, and then again, maintaining your training. Those are all going to be important avenues for you as a cyber professional to stay current, because as those quantum technologies continue to advance, the AI technologies continue to advance, we're going to keep learning and hearing about all the new strategies and methodologies that are coming up. And so that's why it's important for us to make sure we stay connected with the community and networking and doing our due diligence, with keeping informed with the latest and greatest threats, right? So that's my take on that, is staying ahead and, staying compliant, staying up to date on the current training is going to help with some of those countermeasures.
Okay. Any other point? So new challenges in the future, especially with cryptography, with quantum computing. That's the risk. We are far from that right now, but it's coming, and it's coming at an exponential pace. So we cannot even predict when that is going to be a problem. What we can predict is that it's going to be there and it's going to cause some disruption. Okay, but I'm hopeful that with the skills and the path that we're studying right now and the right people that we have working on this, we also, as a humanity and collective, we're going to find solutions to. Okay, so thank you guys. That concludes today session. Thank you. Let's finish this with a round of applause for our panel and for yourself, guys, to be here. Let's continue. We have more work to do. We have more flags to capture. We have more drills and we have more skill building. Thank you so much, Cassandra.
My pleasure. It's been an honor. And I wish everyone have fun, happy learning. And remember, our adversaries are out there and they're doing their best to make sure that they're conquering all these different types of organizations across our country. So it's up to you. The responsibility is on you. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Any closing points?
No, Keep learning.
Okay,
Let's
keep
go.
learning. Let's do it. Let's continue. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.